But it made me, while I was there, to start looking at seminary a bit like chemotherapy. It kills off a lot of who you are. Hopefully it kills the bad, but it can also kill some of the good. And the question is are you going to survive when you get through there? Because it should help you in your walk with Jesus and help you find that aspect of it. Now, I am curious about something, and I'm curious if you can answer this question or not. You're talking about heart-shaped community, or heart-focused community. To me, the culture of belonging in our communities right now is very hard. A variety of reasons. Some, if they're in a larger church, you have to find those spheres, as you mentioned, getting plugged into those spheres. Two questions that I have. Number one, when is it time, if a church isn't willing to do that or is doing that? They might have everything else orthodox. And do you leave if they don't have that heart-shaped community you've tried? Heart-focused community. Do you need to go find it someplace else? Or what if another church has that, but they're not walking within your doctrinal comfortability, but they have the community, whereas the other church has the orthodoxy, but not the community? What do you do?
Yeah, that is a challenge, isn't it? I've experienced both. I've been in the best community group I was ever in, had the worst theology of any church I had been in. And I did end up leaving, because you just can't stay in that for forever. I do think that leaving is an option that is on the table in a way that it wasn't when we were all in parish systems. So what I tell people is you kind of got to build your team and your people partly in your church and partly independently of your church. So the idea here is that I may be called to do ministry in a church and God wants me there, but it isn't necessarily where I get my soul fed. That can happen, right? Where I'm called to be a part of this. But if that is the case, then I need to have other people in my life that I'm connecting to. So the nice thing about the Zoom culture that we're in, right? We can, you can kind of collect people that you can talk to, because what we're talking about is level of transparency, right? How transparent can I be and know that I will still be met with empathy and with happy to be with you, right? If I'm too transparent, will you no longer be happy to see me? So that's the question. Now, in any church, you don't just lead with that. Right? You don't get up on stage, pull up the mic and tell everybody your darkest secrets, because not everybody has the maturity to handle that. So, but within the Christian community, you've got to find the people who've got the emotional maturity to hear your story and still be happy to be with you. It's actually why boundaries are so important. One of the ideas behind boundaries in relationship is you need to know that when we're together, I'm going to be happy to see you. And so if we've set up time and we're going to have, this kind of time together, then I have devoted that here and I'm going to be happy to be with you while we're together. But if I'm going to the bathroom, you show up and you want to talk about your problems, I'm happy to see you. There's you start with the extreme, right? There's obvious boundaries here where I don't want you here, right? I don't want you in my bedroom at night. I don't want you here at night. I don't want you there. And you just start expanding that out and you're like, well, what am I saying here is I want to make sure that I'm happy to be with you when we're together. And that's why boundaries matter. So it's actually for both of us so that you know what you can count on. And I remember as a young person, I didn't know what to call it, but I remember kind of the mirror neurons in my brain were watching this guy, and he was a good friend of mine. And I walked into the room and he paid zero attention to me. And at first I was upset, but then I realized he was completely focused on the person he was with. They had his undivided attention. And I then actually respected him because I realized, you know what, when I'm that person, I'm going to get his undivided attention. And I thought there was something, comforting about that. Now, if he had seen me, he would have waved and come back to it, but there's a way to be there. But that's kind of the idea. And that's why when we talk about heart-focused community, what we're really talking about is a community that is dealing with freedom issues, dealing with identity issues, helping people grow their maturity, helping people walk in the Spirit. It's not all just Bible, right? So I don't want to minimize Bible, but we have sometimes been minimalistic with it. And so that's what we're trying to say is heart focused is saying there's more going on at our church than education. We deal with the issues that are actually going on in your heart.